Hello there everyone, and welcome to the final I'm a Speedrunner talk show for I'm a Speedrunner 5. In this show I only have one guest with me, and that's...
Ratchet5, and I'm here to make sure Angus isn't being unfairly judgmental of me. But anyway, yeah, continue.
Because, as we all remember, in the two I'm a Speedrunner tournaments ago, I did a segment called Ratchet5's Hits and Misses, and that's what today's show is all about, folks. Seeing as the tournament has concluded and whatnot, so let's begin, shall we? Shall we?
Group A.
Okay. So, yeah, this tournament was unusually long, I mean, in terms of, like, groups, because it went down to N, which is, 14 groups, I think?
Yeah.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, yeah, 14, 14 groups, I think, yeah. So, it was really long, so, this one's gonna take a while. I think in, like, I'm a Speedrunner 3, we had, up to K, I think, and that took half an hour, so...
Yeah, but there's, like, a lot of people who didn't do anything or didn't get a rank, so, yeah, that's a bit shorter in that way, but... Yeah.
Exactly, but we'll still talk about mostly everyone. So, without any further ado, let's move on to the first group, which is Group A! Yay! So,
yeah.
This group consisted of, Luke R44, Flaming Flares, Dr. 5, and the Machine King. So, tell us about this group, Andrew.
Okay, well, Luke R44, I predicted him 4th because he came 2nd in I'm a Speedrunner 2, and he's known to be a pretty good Crash Bandicoot speedrunner, and at the time I really didn't know anyone else that could really like beat his standards and Bandy's standards for that matter. No one had heard of Samura One Man, what's his name, Pete the Player, and nobody knew that Finland Boy was that good at Crash Bandicoot. So Luke was the place for 4th, but he ended up getting out in round 3.
Yep, so prediction of 4th place and round 3 elimination. Now, Group A was extremely lazy, if we remember correctly, because if we just remember Flaming Flares, I think he did 1 of his matches. Dr. 5 maybe did 2 of his matches, and Machine King did 2 of his matches, so...
Yeah, I think that was how it was, yeah.
This was a really lazy group. As far as rankings, Flaming Flares and the Machine King were unranked. I think Machine King actually got out in round 2. Didn't he progress, Andrew? It says here that he got out round 2, so I guess he did. I can't remember who he versed, though.
Yeah, neither can I. Well, it obviously wasn't that important, but I didn't rank either of them because I really didn't know their Crash Bandicoot skills, and yeah, they didn't really get very far anyway.
And we ranked Christian, obviously, because we know Christian and his lackluster ability in Crash Bandicoot speedrunning, and his tendency to get eliminated in round 1.
The only tournament that he's got past round 1 was I'm a Speedrunner 1, and he's been in every I'm a Speedrunner tournament, so round 1 was a prediction, and it ended up being correct, so... Yeah. Okay,
that's Group A. Let's move on to Group B, which has Mr. 100% Gamer, Radshan, Laponte36, and Video Game Rules 645. So tell us about this group, Andrew.
Well, Angus, you talk about the previous group being lazy. This was by far the laziest group of the tournament. Mr. 100% Gamer was quite good in I'm a Speedrunner 2, and I thought that he'd get to round 3, but he didn't really do anything. So, whether you could say he either was an NA or he was a round 1 elimination. But
he did none of his matches, so no point. He just dropped off the face of the earth, pretty much. So
well, he did his match with Video Game Rules, but I don't think his video got sent or something like that. But I reckon if Mr. 100% Game wasn't busy with like all the things that happened in July with him, then probably he would have gotten to round 3, in my opinion. But the only one that was actually none of them are ranked actually. So except for John, so we can't really talk about this. But Laponte did well; he got to round 3, and Video Game Rules did average. He got to round 2. So.
Yeah, that's why we can't really talk much about this group. So, no hits so far. I don't think we've got any hits. So we've got all misses.
Oh no, John. Oh no, not John. Christian.
Christian. Yeah, one hit. So we'll put that in the hitometer.
Yeah, and Radshan was an NA, and he goes an NA as well. But
we can't. Yeah. Okay.
But the only 2 that weren't that actually I predicted a round and it got another round, but they still finished was Luke and Dr. 5. So technically, I got 1 out of 2 so far.
Okay, 1 out of 2, pretty good. So Group C, which had Oran Super 95, James 2667, cough, Ellis Man 2000, Bearfister 69, Vaniz, and Layowza 10. Wow, that's a mouthful.
This is like the Group B of Atmosphere Arena.
5. We're in 5.
Five. Yeah. Okay. Alright.
Yeah. So this group, yeah, lots of replacements actually. 2 people who Andrew signed up. I personally knew that before the tournament started they wouldn't do anything. That was Bearfister 69, James 2667.
Yeah, that was I really shouldn't have let them in. And I meant I'm a Spirina 3, because remember your group and I'm a Spirina 3 had like 1 million people in by the end. Remember?
Yeah, well,
yeah.
Just a question. Why did you let Bearfister in? This is just a... I'd like to hear this.
He told... Okay, I talked to him for about 10 minutes. I told him that... it was obvious that he wasn't really going to do his matches, and he told me, don't worry, I will. It seems like I'm not going to do my matches, but I will. Don't worry, I just have this username because this is my alternate account, or something like that. He made some good reasons. And same as James 2667, he said, oh, I'm going to be here, don't worry. He was there, he was talking to us for a good amount of time, a month before the tournament started. So both of them seemed like they were actually going to do something this tournament. James 2667, if you remember, actually did something in Atmosphere too, so I can trust him sometimes, especially as the summer there, both in America and England for that matter. So I thought that I could trust them both, but I could trust neither of them. So yeah.
Yeah, what a shame. So then we get Vaniz in and Layazerton. So Vaniz actually made it to round 2, and you defeated him in round 2. And
yes.
I can't remember Layazerton doing any matches.
He did like a 1 match with, I think it was like Elvis Man or Oren, I can't remember what it was, but he ended up like they came in with like 2 days left, so to be fair, it was basically impossible for them to really do anything in those 2 days. So
yeah.
I think he only did 1 match or something like that, and he won. I can't remember now, but it wasn't that important. But Oren Super was the only one that I predicted that actually finished. And he was predicted to round 2, and he ended up getting 4th. So that's pretty good, even though his path to the grand final was by far the easiest.
Yeah, well, exactly, yeah. So, okay, that's Group C. Now we move on to Group D, which consists of the AFH013, Bionicle 2809, the Stick Kid, and another person who I didn't think would do anything, Music Generator. So, yeah, this group. What can we say about this group, Andrew?
Well, this group actually has 3 people that are predicted to actually finish, which is good for once. Al was predicted the semi-finals. He got out in round 2.
Well, to be fair, he did verse Pete the Player in round 2, and
yeah, and Pete the Player is pretty damn good. And he was definitely like, I'd say like if we could give anyone a 5th place, it'd be Pete the Player. I'd say did. He lost to Mr. Finland Boy. Mr. Finland Boy did bloody good in that Spear and Crash 3. But continue what you were saying.
Well, I was gonna say I think personally Pete the Player should have been in the grand final instead of Oren Super 95. But,
yes, I agree.
My opinion. Like that'd be like a horrible idea though. But like you should make it in the next tournament. Like in round 3, like if you in the semi-finals, the 3 people who are in the grand final, you make an executive decision on who the 4th person is or something.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, either him or Matt, I reckon, would have been good for the grand final as well.
Yeah, well, yeah, I suppose, yeah. So yeah, the FH013 got knocked out in round 2. Here's another hit for Ratchet5, Bionicle 2809.
Yes.
Did 1 match against the Stick Kid and lost it.
Still counts. So
yep, still counts. So he's in group D, I think, and round 1 elimination. And then the Stick Kid, who, did I remind you what happened with the Stick Kid? Did I remind you? And then Music Generator, of course, who didn't do anything, which wasn't very surprising.
Okay, so that's 2 out of 5, basically.
Yep. Okay, so Group E, which has Crash Bandicoot 12, who was predicted 1st place. Salamance Master 1, who for some reason was predicted round 2. Platform King, who was predicted nothing, and Randomate 127, who was predicted round 1, who made it to the grand final last time.
Yeah, well, Salma's Master really should be an NA for what they actually got to, because he didn't do anything.
Okay, well, yeah. No, he first Bandy, but it wasn't uploaded.
And that's wrong, why are we calling Alex? Angus, Randomate 127 got to round 3, not to round 2.
Oh, sorry, that's a typo by me. Anyway, it'll be in the video.
Well, again, Randomate 127 passed expectations for this tournament, so
tremendously.
Bit of a clap to him, even though he didn't get too hard opponents, but still, I still think it's good. But Bandy, he went Atmosphere in a 2, and he was one of the clear favourites to win the tournament. Rabbit and Matt were also favourites, but Bandy was like everybody thought for about 6 months or more. People were thinking Bandy's just going to win. Well, why are we bothering to do another Crash Bandicoot tournament? Bandy's just going to win again. So he was predicted first, but he got out in the semi-finals, which I mean,
it's pretty good still.
Yeah, and he lost to Rabbit, and Rabbit came second. So
yeah, I'm actually surprised he made it that far. I thought he'd like just be lazy or something and like get out in round 2 or something like that.
And he was in Romania, and like he was busy with other things, and he didn't really care too much about the tournament. He keeps on saying that he'd rather have a different tournament than Crash Bandicoot. So, considering his unenthusiasm, semi-finals is still pretty damn good. So
for someone not giving a damn, he's doing pretty well. So yeah, no hits in this group, I don't think. So
that's 2 out of 8 now.
Yep. So we can move on to Group F. For some reason, I don't know. Have you heard that this group started like a little community or something?
Yeah.
It's weird. This tournament seems to have like sparked a bunch of these weird, tiny communities that
Well, I think that's the best thing about the tournament. Just making new friends, I reckon, is the best thing.
Well, Group F and Group H actually have started their own little communities. I think they've like merged together or something. Because I'm always getting added to calls with like Pete the Player, Cool Pro, Spike Stuff, Sludgeball, Crash Fan 15, those kind of people.
Yeah.
So this tournament, it's pretty. Like everyone says that the community is slowly decreasing, but I think like every tournament, you always gain these like little groups of people coming together anyway.
I really think it's just like people being vain, saying like, oh, people's not talking to me, that means that like the community's failing. No, it's creating new friendships and stuff like that. So
Group F, commonly referred to by themselves and only by themselves as the fail whales. They had Peter Player, Cool Pro 195, Sludgeball, and then Crash Fan 1994, who dropped out and Sludgeball replaced him, and Spike Stuff 95. So, let's start with Pete the Player first. You predicted a semi-final elimination, and that's what he actually got, so that's 3 out of 9 now for you.
Yes, I'm very happy with myself now.
I'm actually going to take this down, like 3 out of 9, so I remember what we're up to.
Okay, hello everyone. Angus accidentally stopped recording just then on Fraps, so we're just taking it back from here, but we didn't do too much while we weren't recording. But anyway, so we're up to Cool Pro 195, and I predicted him round 1, and he got out in round 1, so that's another hit for me. So that's
4 out of 11.
4 out of 11 now, and Spike Stuff, we were talking about how he passed Angus and Christopher's expectations and got to round 3 from round 1. But we talked about how like one of the ways that he got through was beating Pete the Player because he conned him into doing CTR. But he still beat Full Pro and Sludgeball. So
yeah, 4 out of 12, and we can't really rank Sludgeball because he was not applicable. But we can say that Crash Fan 994 was round 2, but he did nothing. So we can't really say that either because he did nothing.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
He might very well have gotten to round 2, but we don't know. So 4 out of 12 at the end of Group F. So moving on to Group G, which was Ratchet5's group.
Yeah, and I was saying how I actually thought that I predicted myself semi-finals, but I underestimated myself. I predicted round 3, but I got out in the semi-finals. So, and then Mama Club 2, I got completely correct. And,
completely correct. Even though he did not complete his round 2 match, but he still made it to round 2. So I'm going to put him down as a round 2 elimination there.
Yeah.
So that would be at the moment that would be a 5 out of what was that? 5
out of 14.
14.
And Kirby Prower, Supersonic, Mr. Fingers. Kirby Prower predicted round 1. He got out, but he probably would have got out round 1 if he continued. I'm not going to rank him though. We don't know for sure. Supersonic, I didn't predict because he came in late, and Mr. Fingers I didn't predict because I wasn't sure about his Crash Bandicoot skills. So,
okay, cool. So I think we're almost back up to where we were. Here's Group H, which we call it the dull group because everyone in this group is kind of boring. It's like dry as a brick wall, pretty much. So those people were Todd Gamer Pro, Crash Bandicoot Rocks 2, Pollax Ality, and Shreddle. I think that's 7221. Not that it matters. So yeah, this is Group H. What can we talk about Group H?
Well, yeah, Todd. I predicted round 3, but you can say that he either got out in round 2 or he got out in round 4, which is the semi-finals. But probably the semi-finals will be more accurate because he did end up beating 3 round 2 people and a round 3 person in the 4-way. So I guess it is justified that to say he got out in the semi-finals. So I underestimated him. But anyway, the other 3, I didn't predict at all, and they got out in round 2, Crash Bandicoot Rocks 2. Round 1, Pollax Ality and Shreddle won 7-2-1, got out in round 1, and Crash Bandicoot Rocks, as Angus said, barely got through for that group.
Yeah, barely, and even still, I'm pretty sure like even the Stick Kid could have probably beaten her in round 2.
And really, Shreddle should be an NA for where they got to do too, because they just quit before they could do anything.
Okay, so take this into account. That's a 5 out of 16 now.
Right. Yep.
Because we're not going to count those. So now we go back to where we were before, which is Group I, which has the Rixer, myself, Nintendo Gen 64, that 237 guy, and Mania Doctor from the night.
Yeah. And so, I was saying that all of these ranked and all these finished, and all of these were also ranked as round 1. So I was secured to get 2 unless somebody quit, but it also meant that I was secured that I couldn't get 2 as well. So it meant that the Rixer and Mana Doctor I got wrong because they got to round 2, and Nintendo Gen 64 and that 237 guy got out in round 1, which I predicted.
So 7 out of 18 now that we've come to this, but I was saying before that this was probably, this maybe in Group H, were probably the only 2 groups that I would have actually stood a chance of getting past round 1 in. When you
and
look
Group
at
B
it.
as well, because nobody did anything.
Oh, and Group, well, yeah, actually, yeah, Group B. So, I had a good chance, but I lost it because, first of all, we did a rematch with, the Rixer. Probably would have been good if I did it on a different day when my dad didn't come into the room, but
yeah,
still, it doesn't matter. And also, I severely underestimated, Mana Doctor's ability at, Crash Tag Team Racing, so,
yeah.
Probably justify that I got out in round 1. I don't care though. So
yeah. So I was saying that like Angus raced Mana Doctor and Mana Doctor's specialty without him knowing. I raced Mana Doctor in his specialty in the Spyro tournament, but I ended up winning that because of the fact that like I actually practiced a bit, and well, that's Spyro, so it's a different conversation. But I practiced a bit, and like he kind of failed a tiny bit, and his loading times kind of failed a bit as well. So it meant that I won.
Yeah. Okay, Group J, which was the group of death, and rightly so. This had Ricky Man, 48, Mouse Man, 48, we take it or leave it, Zeppelin G, 1993, Samura One Man, or Samurai Man, and Teal Game Master.
Yes.
So, this, I think, is very, very justified for the group of death, simply because leaving Ricky Man 48 out, let's look at these people. Zeppelin G, 1993, Samura One Man, who we now know is extremely good, and Teal Game Master,
who's good as well.
Yeah, who's
like,
great. Yeah.
I wouldn't say that this would be like the biggest group of death that we could possibly have. That was Armor Spirited 2 with Cody, Bandy, Luke, and Cowstar, or Allegrado. Oh, he plays Crash. No, never mind. I'm getting this wrong. Didn't have Bandy in it, but. Anyway, as I was saying, this wasn't like the biggest group of death that we could have possibly had, but it still was the group of death because it did have like fancy people in it. So none of these I got right, and I actually overestimated Zeppelin and Teal, and I didn't rank Samuro because we had no idea how good he was when we were doing the ranking.
Oh, and I also forgot to mention that this Billy came into this group as well, so just put him up there as well.
Oh yeah, he's like Ricky Man's replacement, but he didn't do anything anyway.
Yeah,
so.
he did 2 matches.
He did 2 matches, right? I thought he only did 1. And
oh yeah, that's right. He only did 1 against Teal. Teal did 2 matches. I think.
Okay.
Or did Teal? No, Teal only did. No, he did 3. That's right. Yeah. So yeah, Group J. not the biggest group of death. Maybe your group in IAS3 was a pretty big group of death as well. Bandy, Owl, and Cole.
Oh, yeah, that was pretty, it's like the equivalent for this, I'd say, yeah.
Yeah, so
even that group K as well with Luke and Matt, but basically that wasn't a group of death as much as that if anybody else tried to get into that group, then that was stuffed. So
yeah, pretty much. So yeah, that's Group J for you all. Now we move on to Group K.
And what does that make the tally of?
7 out of 20 at the moment.
Oh, 7 out of 20, right?
Yeah, you're dropping. So in this we had Crash for 1596, who was predicted third. Rayquaza 93, who was predicted round 1, and Desert Monkey JK, who was predicted round 2. So yes, we have one hit in this, so that brings our total up to 8 out of 23. We also had why is that? Okay, that's a typo on my part, because we have Jorvan, who was eliminated in round 1. So
yeah.
8 out of 23. So this was the go to hell Meckle group in my opinion, because we had Jackie and Jorvan who were just like in there to stop any replacements coming in, which is kind of funny because when you look at it, like only Crash and Desert Monkey actually have any ability in this group. You predicted Rayquaza correctly. That was a round 1 and round 1, so that brings us to 8 out of 23. But apart from that, this group is just the go to hell Meckle group.
I think that my prediction of Matt, that was actually kind of justified, if you know what I mean, like third. Yeah. But it's just the fact that he got unlucky with Rabid. So
he could have maybe come third in the tournament, but I think if he did get to the grand final, he might have won it or come second. I don't see him having a chance, even if he did beat Rabid, to perfectly get third, in my opinion.
Yeah, I reckon he would have. Yeah, well, we didn't know about Peter Player, Finland Boy, and Samura, so I didn't know anyway. So that's my excuse. And Desert Monkey, I think that was actually a good prediction on my part too. It's just the fact that City Roulette had that problem. So actually, I think Desert Monkey was actually winning a bit on that match. So whatever, you can look at it both ways. But yeah, my Desert Monkey prediction was a tiny bit off as well.
Yeah, at least he made it to round 3 this time. I think his best was before in IAS3 where he made it to round 2 against my brother. If you remember that match.
Oh yep.
Which is a good match. So yep, 8 out of 23. So let's go to Group L, which has the illustrious Mr. Finland Boy, Gamer LP1 Overall Gaming, who with an E for some reason, and Crystal Fissure. So no hits once again. So
yes,
Mr. Finland Boy was predicted semi-final elimination, and rightly so in my opinion, because you look at it this way: you got Matt, Bandy, Rabid, Luke. Okay, we know they're good. So anyone else who is really good up there, before the tournament began, you probably couldn't say, okay, they'll get into the grand final.
Yeah.
So that's a justified point, giving Mr. Finland Boy semi-final elimination. But he came third, so that's 8 out of 24 for you. We'll add that there.
Yeah.
And Crystal Fissure as well, who is the other ranked person in this group. We said round 1 elimination, and he came round 2. So yeah, but you can talk about that.
To be fair, Gamer LP1 didn't do anything in overall gaming. Was a complete noob. So.
Yes.
But I could have factored that into my like opinion. So I didn't factor in the fact that those are like a ton of noobs. So that was still my fault. So he deserved to get out of round 2 in my opinion. So.
Well, yes. Look at it. He beat Finland Boy, right? We're like, he beat Finland Boy. But then if you look at it, he would have made it through anyway, unless he was like.
Oh yeah, that's true. And he beat Mr. Finland Boy. So good for him getting to round 2. Good for him for proving me wrong. So I'd say that was like definitely like a bad choice on my part to say you get out of round 1. So good for you, Crystal Fissure.
Yeah, good for you, Fissure. Group M, which is the second last group. This has Rabbit Wombat JR, Nintendo, Mr. Fraser Films, and Yogo Monyo. And we have one hit here, so I can add this to the tally. Rabbit Wombat JR.
This is my favorite hit. This is my favorite hit of the tournament.
Predicted second, came second.
Yes, that's why. Yes, my favorite hit because of the fact that second is like a very hard thing to predict because there's only one place to be second. and he was actually really second. And he was telling me how he was going to win, like that. You should have predicted him second because he was going to win, but he got second anyways.
Yeah, I know. Like, it's funny though. He blaming his defeat on the fact that Notepad was lagging his computer. That never gets old. Oh, I had Notepad open. Oh, the gems. I needed to refer back to my Notepad because of the gems, and the Notepad, the gems, all that true text font, and my computer is lagging even though I have a supercomputer.
Okay, Angus.
Anyway, I'm sorry. He brags about his computer, yet he complains that Notepad's lagging it. I'm sorry, but that is.
Well, anyway, that's the 4th time that I predicted the grand final correctly. Would have been the 5th if I did a prediction for Armor Spearrunner 2, because I would have predicted Bandy as first. But yeah, so I predicted myself as second in Armor Spearrunner 3, and I got second. I predicted John as first in Armor Spearrunner 4, and he got first. And I predicted Auron as third. No, not Auron. Not Lapolne. Was it Scourge as third?
No, you didn't predict anyone.
No, it was Auron. Yeah, I predicted Auron as third, and he got third as well. So that's my 4th hit for a grand final, which I'm proud of myself. Even if I get like a ton of misses, I'm proud that I've gotten 4 hits on the grand final, which is good for me. So.
Well, that, in my opinion, the grand final's the easiest to predict.
Oh, really? Okay.
Well, yes, because you got good people in the grand final. It's just a matter of like. You have to say at least if you're going to pick all the good people and put them in like the grand final situation. You're going to say first, second,
I could have
third,
predicted
fourth.
like Rabin second and he got third or something, so I could have got it wrong.
I suppose so. Yeah, maybe, but
like round 1, it's really easy because like you know that they're bad, so you just give them round 1, and then there's like a 1 in like there's like a big chance that they'll get in round 1.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, here's the final group, which is Group N, which has City Ruler 1, Ronnie 22 walkthroughs, Xenocide 8, and Tom Concannon, and you're gonna be very proud of this one. You got another hit here, but that brings us to 28 hits, 28 misses, or at 28 people ranked, and 10 hits because City Ruler 1 you predicted round 1, he got out in round 2, and everyone's favorite Slugger 1 predicted round 1, out in round 1.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd be so happy to see anyone out in round 1, but seeing as you predicted that, then yeah.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't want him to get out of round 1. I basically had a death wish here because I don't want Tom Concannon to get out in round 1, but it just ended up that way. So,
yeah. Hey, that's 10 hits, but so overall there were 28 people who Ratchet5 ranked properly and actually did something.
It's half the people in the tournament.
Half the people did something. Yeah, that's actually kind of right because you look at the total matches uploaded, about half of them were uploaded. Yeah. So I'd say my maths is pretty correct on that. So 28 people did something, and out of those 28 people, that's 10 correct. So that's a bit under, almost a third actually, over a third actually.
I could have done a lot better. So I can't say that I was that great. I'm a Spearrunner 4 and I'm a Spearrunner 3. I don't know like what was the actual fraction. That would be interesting to work out. Like what was the actual fraction I got correct and incorrect. But I'd say it'd be around a third as well.
Yeah, that's over a third. That's you got about 30, 0.35, which is a bit over a third.
I'd really like to see someone else like rank the matches. Even if we both do a ranking, like somebody else should do like a ranking of what they reckon everyone will get as well. So
okay, well, that would be actually, I think for I'm Speedrunner 6, here's just something to put to people. Look out for this when it comes. Upload a video before Ratchet5 does his rankings, and just like once you know the sign up, just see your opinion, because this is actually very interesting mathematical formula thing to use, thing to do, in my opinion. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
All these numbers and figures. So look out for the sign up video, see all the people who signed up, rank them, give them, or you don't have to give them all, just like rank where you think they'll get. Anyway, that brings us to the conclusion, unfortunately. It's gonna be sad to see this talk show thing go, but I'll be back in 4 or 5 months with a Speedrunner 6's talk shows.
And I'll be making I'm a Speedrunner 5 wrap up video as well, like I always do.
Yes, you will, and no parody songs for this tournament. That's a shame.
Okay, well, a couple of us were thinking of doing some, but again, nobody was bothered.
Yeah, unless you want to do a parody song, I would like to see the Machine do a parody song.
Yeah, well, I think, Angus, we'll save the parody song we worked on for I'm a Spear and obviously 9, if we ever do. Crash Bandicoot tournament in 2013. So.
Oh, definitely, yeah, definitely. Everyone will be around then.
Yep, yeah, sure.
Anyway, yeah, I enjoyed I'm a Speedrunner 5. I think I'm a Speedrunner 3 is better. That's only my opinion. You can tell me what you think in the comments. It's a very discussion-orientated video, I guess.
Yeah, I'll discuss all this kind of thing in the talk show. So I won't give my opinion here.
In the wrap-up.
Yeah, the wrap-up. Sorry, yeah, this is the talk show.
Yeah, this is the talk show. The talk show. The epitome of the culmination of the apex of everything that we do in I'm a Speedrunner. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for supporting. Everyone said that I should do it next tournament, so I'll be back. Until next time, goodbye everyone, and yeah, see you later. Bye.
See ya. Bye-bye.
Game over.